Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Joining me for another one of the No More Mr. Nice Guy series. We are doing episode 12 of chapter 3, and what we're looking at today is shedding old skin. This will be the last part of chapter 3, I think, and then we'll go into chapter 4, the next one. So today we're looking at shedding old skin, metaphorically speaking, not really shedding skin. Um, let's jump in and take a look at what Robert Glover is talking about. So, what does shedding old skin involve? It involves letting go of your outdated beliefs, your behaviors, and the pattern that no longer serves a person's growth or well-being. Your growth or well-being, and essentially this can be liberating and empowering, and can help nice guys improve themselves in a few ways. A few of the ways that nice guys can shed their old skin will be here on the right, as you can see. Um, Breaking free from people pleasing, these are all coming together. All the videos that we did on chapter 3 is all coming into one now. So breaking free from people pleasing. Nice guys often engage in people pleasing behaviors, and they do this in order to attempt to gain approval or avoid conflict. When you start shedding your old skin, you're kind of killing this pattern, and you're starting to learn to prioritize your own needs above the people pleasing that nice guys do. You start to let go of the seeking external validation and start looking at yourself and your own confidence to approve of yourself and your self-worth. And next one is embracing authenticity. So when you start shedding your old skin, you start to embrace your authentic selves, which is what this channel is basically about. We want to become our authentic selves. You start to show your authentic self without fear of rejection or judgment. You let go of the fake mask that has been built up for society, for others, and you start to let yourself show to the world. So when you start shedding old skin, you can develop a deeper sense of self-acceptance and approval. You start to love yourself and appreciate who you are. Again, setting healthy boundaries is another outcome. Nice guys will often struggle with it due to fear of conflict, or disappointing other people. But when you start shedding your old skin, you'll start becoming comfortable having those healthy boundaries in place and enforcing the consequences of the boundary if someone oversteps it. And you will develop a greater sense of self-worth or respect, which in turn, again, with setting the boundaries, once you respect yourself, other people will start to respect you. The cultivating self-compassion. When you shed your old skin, your self-compassion or your forgiveness towards yourself for the past mistakes, or your perceived flaws, you've had a self-critic who is very harsh and had unrealistic standards, that you are not good enough, you know, your self-critical voice that judged you for everything. But once you start cultivating your self-compassion from and you start shedding your old skin, which is letting go of all these things you've held, and you start embracing your authentic self, your self-critic, you start forgiving yourself and start talking lovingly, or thinking lovingly of yourself, which then you get a better relationship with yourself in return, which then leads to more self-approval, more acceptance of who you are, more understanding of what it is your needs, what do you actually want, and it's okay that I want this. Another one is, again, you start embracing that growth and change. It starts becoming still a little bit scary, or fear you have around it, but that fear starts to become excitement as well, an opportunity. You start embracing new possibilities, and you fear less that change, or that uncertainty and discomfort. When you start letting go of your old ways, in your behavioral letting of that behavior that no longer serves you, you start to open yourself up to more opportunities, and you start seeing things you didn't see before, or you were not ready to see before. And then this, again, it propels you into this new sense of confidence and approval, and then you start seeking more challenges, start exploring more things that you are really interested in, and then you start developing into your best person, your top tier self in a way. um, you'll continue to develop yourself into the best version that you can be. So essentially, the shedding old skin is a transformative process that helps nice guys to break off, or break free from their limiting beliefs and behaviors. You start to embrace your authenticity, set healthy boundaries, have a compassionate self critic. Also, with the compassionate love critic, just to explain here, that does not mean that someone who's just loving and supports you for everything. It just, yes, they do, but if you make a mistake, if you do mess up, you're held responsible without the negative talk. Like, ah, I made a mistake here. Great. Noted. It's okay. I've taken into account this mistake now. Fix it. It won't happen again. Continue on. Instead of, I made a mistake. You are so stupid. You can't do anything. You mess up everything all the time. That's what's changing. Is that you're taking responsibility for yourself and you're moving along with it, instead of internalizing that mistake makes you bad. You just, okay, I took responsibility, move on, don't do it again. oh, quick, just a segue there. Um, yeah, and then you start letting go of the old you and putting in the new updated mental models, which then gives you a brighter, more fulfilled, more connecting future where you start to truly be authentic, truly approve of the person you are. Let's take a look at the next one. So, what happens when you apply all the principles from chapter 3? Well, nice guys start to realize that they are humans and the important truths that they are. So, let's look at that one. Nice guys start to realize they are humans and the important truths. So, as a nice guy applies the principles discovered in the chapter 3, which then essentially lets them embrace the reality that they are human. Just like everyone else, we are all human, all imperfect or perfect in our imperfections. Um, that doesn't mean you can just drop the ball, by the way. Doesn't mean just because we realize we're all human, we all have problems. We can just be messed up as much as we want. No, doesn't mean that. So you can so we start to embrace the reality that you are human. You also, as you go along, you start to realize these small important truths. I'll put some of them here, right? Nice guys, or you are not bad. And you start to realize you don't have to win another person's approval or anyone's approval. You also start to realize you don't have to hide your mistakes, flaws, perceived flaws, or anything like that. And then you start to find people or start to realize people can love you just for who you are. So the second one here is nice guys are like everyone else. Essentially, again, it's like the first one where nice guys realize they are human. You realize you're like everyone else. You make mistakes, duh. You have poor judgment, like everyone else, and you act inappropriately at times. Not always, but that does happen. That is human nature. That's what happens. That's humanity. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you unlovable. Um, Most of the time, it doesn't, depending on how far on the scale, how high up you go, how crazy you go. That doesn't stop other people from loving you. And then the third one, sorry, getting what they really want in love and life. So essentially, I think in the beginning of this chapter, Robert Glover referred to a chameleon. That nice guys are like chameleons. And so again, shedding your skin. So what happens essentially is nice guys shed that chameleon skin, and you start learning to please yourself. You start recovering. You start to begin to experience the that intimacy or connection uh, with other people or your partner that you've always really wanted. You start to learn to improve yourself. You your confidence goes up. You start to project out this confident, how do you say, confident, charismatic person, which then will in turn draw people to you. And you stop trying to get approval. You stop hiding your flaws or the mistakes that you think you do, and you open the door essentially to getting what you really want in life, because you're no longer hiding it, seeking approval. Now you're stating, okay, this is me, this is my desire, this is what I want. You can join me if you want, you don't have to, kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. That is the end of chapter 3. So when you bring it all together, you realize these important things, and then you're even further on the track to getting what you want out of life, getting the love that you want, becoming that authentic self, which is the goal. You want to be as authentic as possible. And again, you don't want to be rude, you don't want to be overboard, you just want to be who you really are. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be an a-hole in a sense. That's not the point of this. That's two. So that's you got the spectrum. You've got the nice guy, and then you've got the a-hole. That's the two extremes of the spectrum. You don't want that. You want to be a, what does the Robert Glover call it? A integrated male. Essentially, is what is in the middle. So some semblance of normalcy. Again, thanks for joining me on this one. Comment down below, what do you think are what will happen if you apply all the principles. If you have any other ideas, let me know in the comments below. Again, what did you think of the video? Maybe leave a like. Thanks for joining, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.